Social media are cool, but they are not so great for people's mental health. Because whenever one of your friends is posting a picture of his holidays in a fancy resort, a picture of a party or even a family gathering or a meal, you cannot help comparing yourself to his lifestyle. And obviously, as no one is publishing the thing that doesn't work, the comparison is always in the wrong side. So you may feel very bad about your life. And this is exactly the problem of envy. My name is Maxim. I'm a clinical psychologist, and my specialty is to bridge modern psychology with age-old spiritual wisdom. In the Christian tradition, envy is related to the murder of Abel by his brother Cain. They were both sons of Adam and Eve. Abel was a shepherd, and he was moving freely with his beast from one place to another. Cain has decided to be a cultivator, and he was working hard to produce crops. At the moment they decide to offer the product of their labor to God, Cain was looking to his brother Abel, and it feels that the Lord was pleased with Abel and not pleased with Cain. And he started to develop on his heart a feeling that God was preferring Abel to Cain. And this feeling grew so intensively that he decided to murder his brother. So envy can be really deadly. And after that, he was plagued by a completely new feeling that we may call nowadays guilt and a fear of a divine punishment. Modern psychology teaches us that envy is part of the normal psychological development. So after spending some time in what we may call a fusional relationship with his mother, the child starts to realize that he's not the only one who receives the love of his mother. There is the father, of course, with what we call the Oedipus complex, but above all, there are the siblings. And the siblings receive also love, attention, and time. And envy starts where the child discovers that whatever is given to his siblings is not given to him. And there is an intense hatred that is built at this level. And brotherhood is somehow a very nice feeling, but it's also very violent. And of course, it should be tamed and controlled by the parents, who should be attentive, not to display more love in one side than in the other. But even if they do, envy is there. Envy is a very primitive and irrational feelings. But when the mind develops and the sense of reality develops, the envy gets channelized through the intellect. So instead of feeling that raw envy, we start to measure things and to use our mind to try to compare on an objective basis. And the thing is, with envy, we can compare barely anything. So one of the easiest thing we can compare is the money that people are doing, because it's a very objective basis. But you can compare the car people are driving. You can compare the amount of friends, or the amount of followers they have on their social media. You can compare how successful people are in terms of seduction. You can compare barely anything. And whenever you compare, you will get to that very deep, irrational emotions of envy. And you will fuel them, and you will just intellectualize them through objective parameter. But envy is always there. And one of the striking things of the modern world is that nowadays you can compare with a huge basis of data about anything. So if you consider that you are too fat, you can use the body mass index, who will tell you where are you in terms of weight in comparison to the other people of the same age. But you can compare everything. You can compare the salary, you can compare how much social aid one received, and there is barely no limit to what you can compare thanks to the new IT technologies. And the entire system of social media and artificial intelligence is based on the capacity of computers and software to compare one individual to another. And they do that in order to get money out of you. But it forces you also to compare yourself constantly, because it just requires a few clicks to know and to compare your body mass weight to any other person of the same age, or to compare your salary. So this entire internet and artificial intelligence world is there to fuel envy at any possible level. And it is how it is so toxic for the mind to spend too much time in those media, because the comparison is endless. And at the end, you feel bad, even if in some aspect you will be better off than your neighbor. In some other aspect, you are certainly below the natural mean of your population, and you will feel bad about it. Social comparison is deeply rooted in our human existence, and there is no way you can turn off your brain to prevent from comparing yourself to anyone else, and most of all, your siblings and the person who are equal, or you are supposed to be equal to you. And even democracy is based on that idea that we are supposed to be all equals. So if we cannot remove that capacity to compare ourselves, what are we supposed to do with envy? Envy is a rumination about how unfair it is to have received what appears to be less than what our neighbor have received. And it is based on the very idea that people are fundamentally a bunch of resources and skills that allows you to measure yourself to any other people, like the bank account or the IQ. And if you have been bestowed with a very high IQ, it is unfair towards those who have a low IQ. Same for the bank account, same for everything. But if you want to cure yourself towards the tendency of comparing people and comparing yourself, you have to go back to the very root of what you are. So obviously you have skills and you have resources. We all have. But if you stay at this level, the comparison is endless and you would be kind of trapped. And I won't say it's not a good thing to check if your other colleagues are paid the same level of you, because maybe it's worth changing your job. But if you don't want to be obsessed by envy, you have to go back to the very root of you being. And the very root of you being is that you are unique. You are a unique person, and there is no way you can compare your uniqueness to anyone's uniqueness. So it is really a training of the mind to go back to how unique you are and how unique other people are. Because if you can see yourself as unique, the question of having a higher or a lower salary is not that much a problem. Everyone is unique, and obviously in terms of skills and wealth, the resources has not been shared equally. There is a lot of injustice, but you cannot just afford to stay mentally glued to that sense of injustice, because it's not what you are. What you are, it's a unique person. If you see yourself as unique and you train yourself to see other people as unique, then slowly the grip of envy is dropping, and you can enjoy just interacting with people, because the core of friendship is from a unique person to another unique person. And envy is something that is plaguing everyone's soul. But if you have a fifth ray soul, as you have a very intense power to analyze everything, the tendency to rank and to compare yourself, so to fall into envy, is much higher. So in your particular case, you need to make an extra effort to get out of envy, because as your mind is completely oriented to comparison, you really need to make a spiritual effort to try to go back to how people are unique and to establish unique relationship. Otherwise, it will just make you feel sick.